November 19th. Well, it doesn't really matter. It was just a night like any other. The city slept, but I was wide awake, keenly aware of my surroundings. There was nothing outstanding about this particular night. In fact, it was painfully ordinary. So much so that I had just about had it. To hell with this, I thought. I was tired of this old song and dance, waiting on the criminal underworld of the early to mid-20th century to throw a problem my way. Waiting every night in this ominous hub of scum and villainy had become so boring. If this is how things are going to always be, I thought, I'm out. And that's when he appeared before me.
Wait.
An apparition, the likes of which I could have never dreamt up, stopped me dead in my tracks. Though I never fully escaped my feeling of terror and dread, something about this ethereal visitor was innately fascinating to me. I allowed my curiosity to be the worst part of discretion, and I listened.
Forgive my abruptness. I suppose a greeting is in order. I am the ghost of Hollywood Future. I come to you in your time of desperation to provide a glimpse of what the future holds for the film protagonist. In time, your feelings may be altered.
My mind ran laps trying to understand what this phantom was telling me. Hollywood. Film protagonist. His words eluded me, and yet I couldn't help but surrender to his calling. Lead the way.
Brace yourself.
Suddenly, and without a clue how I had arrived, I found myself standing near a railroad.
You complain about being bored in your stories, that the noir detective is too dull of a role.
I could hear the voice of the Wraith in my head, but he was nowhere in sight.
Yes, it is I that you hear, but don't bother trying to look for me. Our first destination is the Western. A runaway train is on its way, and you're currently waiting to hop on board. It should be here any moment now? Well, I suppose this genre may actually be pretty boring. Let us move on.
The next thing I knew, I was deep in a shrouded forest. It was at this point that I had lost command over my own movements. The spirit had possessed me, now using me as nothing more than an instrument for the sake of his own demonstration. What's happening? I asked the specter.
You're now the action hero, the staple of a future movie market. The non-stop gunfire is in service of the action. Embrace the insanity, my friend.
It was at this point that I stopped questioning the nature of this experience, but it was still far beyond me how these restrictive trappings were conducive to any manner of problem solving.
When film noir went by the wayside, the Western died off, and action movies became a dime a dozen, the industry turned to a new mythos for its next blockbusting venture, the comic book adaptation.
Comic books, I thought to myself. Did he mean those illustrated fantasies marketed toward children? At last, here was something in my wheelhouse. A goon who wanted a piece of the pie. This is the kind of action I had so desperately wished would spontaneously occur in my stories. This fellow meant business, I could tell. Sure enough, he wanted to play dirty. I thought to myself, that's fine. I can handle it. Looks like the kid had honor after all. His mysterious motivations notwithstanding, I was up to the challenge. The excitement was like a drug. You see, that's what I had always lived for, the thrill of knowing that my enemies would always present a fitting challenge. This kid was a worthy opponent. I could feel the raw anticipation coursing through my veins, and then... And then, well, just like that, it was over. All the build-up, all the expectations, all evaporated in one right hook. I wanted to celebrate this victory, but how could I? The odds were totally rigged, and I knew it. This poor sucker never stood a chance. I was overpowered and infallible. I wasn't a hero at all.
Now you see. As time has gone on, you, the film protagonist, have sacrificed substance for spectacle. You no longer have to overcome insurmountable challenges. You simply just show up and save the day.
His accusation hit me like a locomotive train. He was right.
But have faith, my friend. These changes to the film industry have not yet taken place. So go forth and remember this experience the next time you feel bored.
I could only muster up 2 words for this strange visitor.